Hello and welcome, friends, foes, and everyone in between. We are Snap Keep. I am Alex, here with
Jake.
And we're here for a Halloween deck tech. We recently played our Halloween gameplay, and your deck here was featured.
Yeah.
What were you running?
I played Zoraline, Cosmos Caller. So this was my Bat-typal life gain deck, and Zoraline is a 3-mana, so 1 white and black. For a 3/3 flying Vigilance Bat Cleric, whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life. Very important text.
Yeah.
Whenever Zoraline enters or attacks, you may pay 2, so a white and a black, and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it.
Interesting.
So Zoraline is a little more mana intensive than I initially thought when I put the deck together for the first time, because essentially the way that I had to view this commander is 5 mana. It's not a 3-mana commander. This is a 5-mana commander.
Yeah.
Because you really want to take advantage of that enters trigger. But the goal for the deck was just bats. I just wanted a place to play all of the bats that are in Magic, and well, they're not great. Most of them are in here.
You know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's the game plan of the deck?
The game plan is ideally your opening hand has to have some way to fill the yard.
Yeah.
So the deck is particularly bad at putting things into the yard that aren't off of like Palantir of Orthanc, Ripples of Undeath, or even just an early Dire Sight can set you up for something. Because once the deck gets churning, like your bats are going to die, so having things in the yard to reanimate after turn 6 or 7, really not an issue, but to get the train going and to start getting that value, you need an engine piece, basically. And then after that, it's just bat value. Looking to gain life, gain more life, and turn that life into life drain. It's pretty simple.
Sense. Yeah. And I noticed there were some like extort triggers along the way that kind of
so
push you there.
Basilica Screecher, that's a card, it's a bat, has extort.
Convenient.
Yep, that's kind of the only thing it does. So extort is a way to gain life, and it was kind of cute. So there's also like a blind obedience in here, and I think that might be it for extort. But.
So it wouldn't quite be control, right? I think really the only control piece was the blind obedience.
It depends. So when I was putting the deck together, one of the things I noticed is that like Grasp of Fate and Blinding Light type effects are very good in the deck. Because you can, or Banishing Light, my bad.
Yeah.
You can Banishing Light, and then if they remove something, you just bring it back with Zoraline. And you can pick something new, or you can just hit the exact same thing. So it I think with the right start, this deck could come off as control. But I think the goal for me was mid-range, where it's like, you can be aggro in the air if you want, but if the air gets cut off, like you just try to min-max your life gain triggers and control the board.
Spiders on the board and it gets a little difficult.
Yeah. When you hit all those spiders, I was like, oh man, spiders are gonna eat me for lunch.
When I hit all those spiders in the spider-typal deck.
I mean, you really only needed to cast Shelob and it was lights out for me, so yeah.
It makes it slightly more difficult.
It sure does.
Yeah. So the win con then would probably be life drain effects?
Yeah, so the win cons that I identified are like Sanguine Bond and specifically Starscape Cleric.
Yeah.
So Starscape Cleric can't block, but has Offspring, so you can double up on this effect if you have enough mana. And it just says, whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. That's all you need. Whenever a bat attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. It's pretty good text.
Yeah.
So that is kind of what I went with, is end the game is have this on the field and do your thing a bunch.
Yeah, and then especially being able to get it back with the finality counter is like,
Absolutely.
all right, second shot.
Yeah, it's like relatively safe, but still super fragile.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that. Now, we set the restriction as bracket 2.
We did, yeah.
We also semi-set the restriction of Typal, because they're obviously
Spooky,
cards in each of our decks that aren't our specific creature type.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think there were any unforeseen issues with either forcing bats into bracket 2 or having to rain them down to bracket 2?
So with bats specifically, I did not feel any sort of pressure. I think bats are very bracket 2 as a Kindred type.
Okay.
I think that Bloomburrow did a lot for bats, specifically Zoraline, and that entire Orza bats now gain life push was great for them. Because before they didn't really have anything other than their 1/1 flyers.
What about Crimson Vow? Those bats weren't very very good.
No, they weren't. They were pretty bad. And some of them cared about blood. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care about blood. So, yeah,
More of a fruit bats kind of guy.
True. No, but bracket two with bats was pretty easy because I was able to pick like the best of the stuff from like the limited environment.
Yeah.
And then the best of the stuff from like bats historically, and then just jam Orzhov good stuff. with it.
Fix them in.
Yeah.
What would you say are like key cards and combos?
So no specific combos in the deck, but Zoraline with a relatively like wide board and Sanguine Bond is a way to like finish off opponents that you can't attack directly.
Yeah.
So Sanguine Bond is like a key card in any life gain deck, but specifically in this deck, it's like one way to end the game that is direct and like happens in a turn, whereas most other things are like, I play this and then like maybe you'll die next turn.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, key cards, like I mentioned before, Ripples of Undeath does so much work in this.
Yeah. So any of your self
Any of the self-mill, yeah. Cleric class can also surprisingly do a lot of work because specifically for level 2, which I didn't get to in gameplay, but level 2 is whenever you gain life, put that many counters on something. So it can make the bats that are typically very small into actual flying threats, or, because Zoraline has vigilance, pretty good blockers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then other than that, Lunar Convocation is a hell of a card.
Yeah, would you say that one's spicy underplayed, or would you say it's closer to like a favorite of the deck?
I think Lunar Convocation, if Bats players aren't playing this, then they haven't like reviewed Bloomburrow enough, because it does everything you want it to do. It draws cards, it makes Bats, it cares about life gain and life loss.
Yeah.
So like if you don't have that card, it's only 2 mana. Like Zoraline can get it back, and it cares about Bats, and what Bats do like operates so well right next to Lunar Convocation.
Yeah. So then what would you say are kind of the underplayed cards? Since that one feels a little
Specifically,
more obvious.
yeah, underplayed for Zoraline. I think Nesting Grounds was a cute like utility land that I was able to slot in because they bring back things with finality counters. If you can, I've been trying to put like Nesting Grounds and finality counters in the same deck to pull this off, but I really want to move a finality counter onto somebody's thing.
Oh, put it on someone else's.
Yeah, put it on one of my opponent's things so that I no longer have to worry about it.
I dig it. I
And
could see that in
also,
a lot of finality counter decks.
Yeah, you just like, now your thing is exiled.
That's secret
It's
tech.
gone.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Another thing that I think is underplayed, especially if you're looking at like the EDH Rec page, which I did. There's a lot of Bats players out there, little sky puppies, but Pyre of Heroes is criminally underplayed.
Love that card.
I think that, you know, with all of your Bats ranging from like 1 to 4 mana, Pyre of Heroes is a way to like find the good ones. Super good.
Yeah.
And also fill your yard for Zoraline to bring things back.
And I was going to say, if you're
Yeah.
going from 3 to 4, 2 to 3,
Exactly.
1 to 2, those are all things you can get back anyway.
Yeah, and it also being 2 mana is something that Zoraline can get back. So if somebody
yeah.
removes your Pyre, you can pay 2 mana to just get it back and then Pyre the same turn,
Yeah.
like in main 2. It's
It's like,
crazy.
hey,
I don't know.
I missed that.
Yeah, I don't know
Bring it
why
back.
anybody's not playing this.
Yeah, I can see that. What's would you say is a memorable moment, funny moment from our gameplay? Spoiler alert.
I think the funniest moment I had was when I Grasp of Fated and Extorted to bring Ryan down to 1, and I was like, well, I've got his thing, but now anything I do, he dies.
Well, and he would have died on end step regardless.
Yeah, to the
It was
Lunar
like, well,
Convocation. So it's just like,
whoops.
this just kind of happens now, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only playing the deck once, I think that's kind of all I've got for now.
Would you say it's a keeper? You think it'll
That's
float around?
That's a hard question. So I personally do like Bats.
Yeah.
Like, I think Bats are really cool in real life. I also think the Bloomburrow Bats are interesting.
Yeah.
Does this exact iteration of the deck stick around? Probably not.
Does
Will I
a
tinker
Zoraline?
with it? Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
Probably
think that.
still ends up bracket 2.
Yeah, I don't think I'm pulling this up into bracket 3. Like, sure, Zoralining a Necropotent sounds great, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Do you think there are more, like you could push Sanguine Bond combos to move it up higher? Or
Oh,
do you think it's just
absolutely.
not worth it?
Yeah, I think if I were going to go into bracket 3, the things I would want to add are the Black Unconditional Tutors to find good Bats, and then maybe like Enlightened Tutor to find Sanguine Bond, or Lunar Convocation, or any of the other
I was going to say, I was
engine
thinking
pieces.
like Exquisite
Yeah.
Blood or something to finish with Sanguine
Yeah,
Bond.
exactly. It's like, so if you're already adding that, then bringing it to bracket 3 and bringing that combo in makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, and you just do it with tutors.
Yeah,
but then at that point, it
absolutely.
becomes less of a bats deck
and more of a like
just a
Orza of life gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, with combos. So
I can see that.
I think if I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it bracket 2 and bat title.
Yeah. So is there any bracket 2 cards you're still considering for the deck?
There are. So I currently run 3 Banishing Light effects. So I run actual Banishing Light, Touch the Spirit Realm, and Grasp of Fate. Grasp of Fate being the best by far.
Yeah.
I am also considering Seal of Cleansing,
Okay.
which is the 2 mana enchantment,
Sack
and
to
then
destroy.
it's Sack to Destroy. Yeah.
Rattlesnake.
I was kind of toying with the timing restriction on that. I think being able to do it at instant speed is good,
Yeah.
but being able to hit non-land permanent seemed better
Yeah.
in my initial build. So,
Do you have anything you want to say to wrap the deck up? Any extra notes?
I don't. Oh, if Zoraline dies twice, let her go to the bin. I learned that in the game. You don't want to pay 7 mana for that. That is ridiculous.
7 to cast her,
Yeah,
another
that
2 to
is-
get it.
This is
9
crazy.
mana.
Absolutely don't do that.
Maybe run a little bit more ramp.
Yeah, more ramp.
That looks a little struggling.
Yeah.
There's not particularly a lot of bats.
Oh.
Would you think about like Dark Rit? Anything of that sort?
I would think about Dark Rit, yeah, but something that I was trying to find are like artifacts or enchantments that come in, do a thing, and then sacrifice or bounce themselves to your hand. So like I was looking at like Mycosynth Wellspring, but I don't have any way to sack artifacts.
I can see it.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm looking for that kind of effect. So, other Zoraline pilots, if you find that, let me know.
Yeah. Speaking of let them know, that's it for today's deck showcase. If you liked what you saw in this deck, please comment down below. Comment any of the things Jake is possibly
True.
looking for it.
Please.
Would you snap keep this deck?
I would, yeah.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. For more, you can always go to our Discord. We do deck building together, sometimes with you guys. If you have a deck you're building, we're always free to help out with that. And as always, we hope every hand is a snap keep. Bye.
Bye.